What's going on, everybody? This is Gainz Gaming. Today I want to talk about the graphics in Rise of Kingdoms. As many of you know, they came out with a patch note in one of the recent videos about how they want to increase the graphics in Rise of Kingdoms. And I think one thing they are wanting to try to do is basically make Rise of Kingdoms look like Call of Dragons, which I don't know how many people here have played Call of Dragons before, but in my personal experience, the reason why I don't really play Call of Dragons, like I tried it and I honestly could not continue playing because of the graphics. And if you guys have not seen what Call of Dragons actually looks like when you come to gameplay, I'll show you guys a quick video here from one of my past videos. So you can see right here, the graphics are somewhat similar to Rise of Kingdoms, but I feel like the interface just looks different. Like I feel like it's almost more 3D than Rise of Kingdoms is. And you know, there's pros and cons to that. You know, I think the interface does look cooler, but at the same time, when you have fighting in Rise of Kingdoms, like when you have tons and tons and tons of players all on the same map, it's just not going to go very well if, you know, you have that insanely highly definition 3D interface. It's just not going to go very good. And the reason why is because it's just going to be so much laggier than we have right now. I really don't think that they should be trying to increase the graphics and, you know, the quality of graphics when, you know, we don't even have the ability to have a lag-free game right now. Like right now, you can have like low, medium, high, very high graphics. So I'm hoping if they do come out with this new graphic update that we're able to, you know, go back to the original, which is basically what we have right now. Because personally, I don't really want to play as much if it's going to look like Call of Dragons. Because like I said before, the reason why I'm not playing Call of Dragons is because I literally could not handle the graphics. Like the graphics were just too absurd. Now I'll show you guys an actual fight here. I did tag the 93 versus 365 KVK, so we'll go take a look at that and see exactly, and kind of show you guys exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to that insane fighting. This is where the front line was a couple of days ago. Let's see if we can find where the actual fighting is. So if you see right here, like you can't really even see all the individual, you know, like icons. And this isn't even that big of a murder ball. Like this is probably, you know, a quarter size of what is realistic in this KVK. And this isn't even 365. What is this? This is 2203. Who else is here? 1818. So let's see if we can find 365 and 93. Here's a better representation of fighting. And you can see, even just trying to zoom in on here, it is pretty laggy, and still this is even not all that extreme for this kind of a KVK. I feel like the fights are just so spread out right now though, that it's just not really going to be, you know, totally realistic of what we would expect from this KVK. Let's follow all these lines down here. Looks like they're coming down to this flag. But as you can see, if they increase the graphics to the level of Call of Dragons, like I'm not entirely sure of how laggy Call of Dragons is during like big fighting groups, but if it's anything like Rise of Kingdoms, where it's Rise of Kingdoms is already really laggy in Imperium KVKs like this, and like if you guys remember my last KVK against 1034 and the one before that against 1307, like it wasn't even playable because it was so laggy. Like we literally could not even fight because it was so laggy. I had to stop a stream because it was so laggy, because we literally could not fight at all. Because like it literally just looked like this. You couldn't see anything move around, but like this was like the murder ball fighting. So I think them upgrading the graphics is a really dangerous game to play. And personally, I'm not a huge fan of them, you know, trying to implement that if they haven't even already fixed the lag issue that we already have. And like I said before, like if Call of Dragons isn't laggy at all, which I don't know if it is or not. If you guys play Call of Dragons and if it's laggy or not, let me know in the comments below. But if it is even laggy in Call of Dragons, I don't understand why they would try to implement an even higher graphics into Rise of Kingdoms if Rise of Kingdoms is already extremely laggy in these big KVKs. You know, it's a little bit better in the current KVK that I'm in, with the little fighting that we've had, it just hasn't had enough people on the field to make it laggy, but like it's still not perfect, you know? And I don't think it ever will be perfect. I think expecting perfection is unrealistic, but at the same time, trying to upgrade graphics on a game that can't even handle the current graphics, I just don't think that's a very smart plan. I think that it's just like I said before, it might be their way of trying to fix the graphic issue, or trying to fix the lag issue by upgrading the graphics or changing the graphics, because maybe the 3D interface that they have on Call of Dragons is actually better for lag than the 2D version here on Rise of Kingdoms. But, you know, like making the trees stand out, making, you know, the water stand out, all that kind of stuff, like, I really don't care. Maybe some people do, but I really don't care what the mountains look like or what the trees look like, because I don't care about that. I care about fighting. I care about what the troops look like when they're fighting. I care about how to control my troops. Like, if it's not surrounding around troops or fighting, I don't care what it looks like, unless it's too overcomplicated like it is in Call of Dragons. And that's what I mean. Like, I don't care how realistic the trees look or how realistic the mountains or the water looks, because those aren't important to the game. They just, you know, add that extra depth or that extra layer of, you know, the extra graphic, which in turn will reduce the speed of the game, because it's trying to make sure the trees look realistic enough while you're trying to fight with your troops, and then your troops lag out, but the trees still look good. So I really don't understand the premise of that. If you guys have more information on what they're planning to do with graphics, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I did watch their video, but they didn't really explain that thoroughly of what they were like planning on doing with the graphics. But you know, I'm curious to see what everybody else thinks. If you guys care what the interface looks like, if you prefer the 2D version that we have right now, or if you prefer more of that 3D version that Call of Dragons has that I showed before, where, you know, like the trees are moving, the mountains are more 3D, the water is moving. Like right now we just have still pictures of water. Like personally, like I said, I really don't care what the environment looks like. I care about what the fighting looks like. I care about speed of the fighting and my troops not lagging out while I'm trying to fight, because that's what leads to, you know, bigger hospital bills, frustration, and really why a lot of people quit the game is because of the lag. So I think that's the thing they really need to focus more on, not the quality of the graphics of the things that really don't matter for, you know, the sake of the game. So I'm curious to see what you guys think. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think about the graphics and what you guys think about the upgraded graphics in the future of Rise of Kingdoms. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. Have a great rest of your day.